Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel. I know it has been a very long time since I've been on this channel, but I'm back, I'm healthy, and I am raring to go. So I'm gonna switch focus from all my stickers and whatnot and doing my spreads. I recently went to Go Wild, and I saw a lot of people who complimented my brush lettering, and so many of them said that they struggled with brush lettering. They couldn't do it, whatnot. And I was giving a lot of the same advice. So I decided that I'm going to take the time to put this on my YouTube channel. So hopefully I can just steer people to it, because I noticed that in a lot of the brush lettering media that's out there, um, it's all one size fits all, and it didn't work for me, and I know that it doesn't work for a lot of people. So the first thing let's talk about is paper. You do not, I repeat, do not need to purchase specific lettering practice paper. What I tend to do is, I don't know about you, but in my stash I have tons of random letter size paper. These all came from Happy Planner things. When I have extra papers or paper packs, I just chuck them in here. Like they're free. I don't have to purchase anything, and they're built for what I'm going to be using my brush lettering for. Now I do have this book, which is my letter sized one that's got a lot more paper in it. And I also have another one that is a classic size. I do like working in the classic size when I want to practice getting a word the correct size to fit in a daily box. But that's for later. But that is the first thing I want to say. You do not need to purchase specialty paper for practicing your letter. Just use what you got. Anything with lines. As you can see, I have stuff from planners that I've redated or just taken apart. They're good places for all sorts of lettering practice. And for today, I think I'm going to use this particular page simply because it's lined, it's clear, and there's specific sizes. Okay. The next thing I want to talk to you about is your tools, because the correct lettering pen, brush pen, will set you up either for success or for absolute failure. What I see in most places is everyone recommends the Fudenosuke hard tips. Now, I am now proficient with these, but when I first tried brush lettering, I tried it with these and I could not get it to work. My brush lettering looked janky, disjointed, very angular. It did not have those smooth sweeping lines. One thing that you need to remember is that these pens are great if you are light-handed when you write and you don't choke up when you write. It's also great when you write small. Like I have extremely small handwriting. I tend to write when I'm just writing with a G2 or my 2 microns, which is a 0.1 and a 0.2. The very two smallest that they have. Well, I think there is a 0.05. But as you can see, I like very small tip pens. So one thing I'm going to say is the Fudenasukis are really great if you are light-handed and don't choke up on your pen. I tend to write choked up way up high on my pen. That's something that I have to work on when I'm brush lettering. But when I was initially trying to brush letter, I would get really angular and disjointed looking letters because number one, this pen is too firm if you're firm handed. And I choked up way too high on this pen. So that's the first pen that everyone recommends. Now, the other option is the soft version of the Fudenosuke. Now, what I found with this one, even when I pull back, there's not as much control, so I get a lot of bleed over. My letters aren't as crisp and clear because this pen is a little bit too flexible, whereas this one is a little too stiff for my style of handwriting. Another one people tend to try to use is the larger tombos. These are great once you've gotten the hang of it, but to learn, they are entirely too big, and it is really hard to learn control. These are very, very large, extremely soft, and difficult to control. All the things you do not want in a pen to learn. And there are several different um, brands that have the larger brushes. They're great once you get the hang of brush lettering. Now, what I'm going to recommend to you, the pen that I recommend most to beginners is the Pentel brush sign pen. These have a tip about the same size as the Fudennosukis, but they are slightly less firm, and the barrel is tapered a little bit better. And for me, it's got a ridge right here. That is where I place my finger. I'm not choked up really high on the pen, and I get fabulous results every time. And there are several pen brands that have very similar tips. I recommend this one because it is one of the least expensive, easy entry. They're available just about everywhere. You can get them on Amazon. I believe Walmart had them. Just several places that you can grab hold of these, and they come in packs of 2. Of course, I have every pen, but I'm a pen collector. I love every pen. If I find a new pen, I'm in heaven. There are literally hundreds of pens in this room. Another good one that has both size tips. You get the small one that works really well. Oh, and this one's getting a little dry. Are the Archer and Olive calligraph pens. I love these because not only do I get the very small tip to do my regular everyday writing, but if I want to do a large title, yeah, this one's about done. I need to moisten this one a little bit. But if I want to do a very large title somewhere on the page, I have the large brush pen for that as well. One that I absolutely love, but I do not recommend when you're learning, is the Le Pen Flex. These I absolutely love the tip. The tip, let's see if I can get a good view, is a lot smaller than even the Fudennosukis, and I can get very, very small handwriting with really gorgeous strokes, but this one is very tiny. You have to have precise control, so I recommend this one once you've learned how to brush letter the basics. Another pen that is a little bit, it's a unique one. These are the Carapo pens. And what I love about these is I get the tip that I want. These are a great tip, but these come empty, and I can fill them with any um, fountain pen ink. I filled these with, um, excuse me, distress ink, refill ink. I filled them with all different types of inks, and they have a fabulous tip that is really small, similar to the Le Pen Flex. And I love the way they write. I love the control with them. The issue is if you don't want, these are more when you have mastered the basics and you want specific colors. I love these for that. I have several that I have made with multiple colors. There are certain pens that I absolutely love the color, but the um, tip wasn't ideal for what I want to use it for. So I would find the refill and fill one of these, and there you go. I have exactly what I want. So to recap, my absolute best recommendation for beginners is the Le Pen Flex. They come in a multitude of colors. Let me see. You can grab, this is all of the colors that they are available in. There are a few duplicates in here, of course, because I've bought multiple sets. As after a few years, I've had these, most of these for probably 6 years. But as you use them, sometimes you can wear out the nib if you're being a little too heavy handed. This is another option. I can't remember the name of this brand. Um, Rytech. Rytech. I got those on Amazon, and Arteza has a similar, these all have similar brush tip sizes. Let's see. There's the Arteza, and these are Rytechs. And they all have similar sizes, similar flexibility. All of these will work really well for beginners, and they are very low cost of entry. So if you're ready to get started with brush lettering and are struggling to get those sweeping lines and having the disjointedness and the angularness of your letters, perhaps you should try a pen with just a little bit more flexibility. They work a lot better if you're heavy-handed, if you're one who likes to choke up with your pen. I tend to write with my middle finger, my hand unicorn finger. Um, so it's a good pen. These are all good pens for people with writing styles a little more similar to mine, who have struggled with a lot of the other lettering courses online. Perhaps the problem is your tools. So why don't you give these a try? I will try to add more information and a couple more videos on some beginner tips um, later on. And I hope this helps someone. And you guys have a great day. Bye.